This is Module 5 of Rentwise, Taking Care of the Home. I'm Lorene Bartos, a Rentwise instructor, and I will be talking about taking care of your home today. Okay, now let's move to actually cleaning the house, cleaning the apartment. There are certain things that the landlord wants you to do and that you need to do. We need to have a schedule that's a daily, a weekly, and a monthly schedule. This way you can kind of work out when you're going to do things. A lot of people like to do a spring cleaning or a fall cleaning and have certain things that they do deep cleaning at that time. But we're just going to talk now about some real basic things to do. And we're going to start with the kitchen because that's probably one of the harder places to keep clean because there's so much going on in the kitchen. Some daily things that we need to do in the kitchen are, of course, do dishes. Now, you're probably not going to, if you just have a cereal bowl and a cup or a glass in the morning, you're not going to get a pan of dishwater and do that. If you have a dishwasher, put it in, you're fine. Otherwise, rinse it, leave it set in the sink, and then at the end of the day, do them all. What landlords don't want to see happen, or anybody, is to let dishes sit in the sink and it gets grimy and bugs and so forth come with that. So that's what we want to do. We want to wash dishes, we want to wipe down counters, we want to, as far as sweeping the floors and so forth, we need to do that and scrubbing, but it kind of depends on the number in your household. Do you have pets? Do you have little kids? Do you have sloppy adults? Whatever. We need to sweep the floors. We need to scrub them once in a while, whether you do it on your hands and knees or with a mop. Do that. And that might be a weekly task rather than a daily task. Then, what do we do monthly in the kitchen? There are some things that we need to do more often and others not so often. Let's first go to the refrigerator. The refrigerator should be cleaned thoroughly once a month. That means taking things out, wiping off the shelves, getting rid of old things that are out of date, cleaning the shelves and the doors, which we kind of forget about. We put clean things in a refrigerator, but it still gets kind of grody sometimes. So do that. Weekly in the refrigerator, you need to go in and look at what got shoved back that you saved as a leftover you were going to eat. It happens at our house anyway. And there it is. We haven't eaten it. So get rid of those kinds of things. Also, if you have a self-defrosting freezer with your refrigerator, then you're good. But you still need to clean it out once in a while. But if you need to defrost it, you need to do that before the ice and frost builds up and slows down the running of that refrigerator. And also with the refrigerator, we can't forget the top. Some people aren't tall enough to see the top, but it gets very grimy because of the grease, the dust, and moisture in the kitchen. So that's someplace that needs to be cleaned. And we all use the top of the refrigerator as a storage area, whether it be trays, whether it be cups or glasses or water bottles. So we do need to check it and wipe it off. The other thing is cleaning the motor and down underneath the refrigerator. Also, pulling it out once in a while because some little gremlins take and get all kinds of stuff under, down, and beside them. And when you go to get a different one, it's kind of scary what you find. So that happens when people move in and out of apartments because those things stay. And don't forget to wipe off the fronts, the sides. If you have a water dispenser, you need to clean that area because water drips and then it stains that. Now we'll move to the next fun thing in the kitchen, which is the stove. Depending on if you have a gas stove, an electric stove, a glass top, or a top with burners. A glass top is easy to clean. If you wipe it up when something spills, you don't have any problems. The stoves with the burners, the same thing. If something spills or burns, clean it. Then it won't be so hard. The little pans underneath, you can take those out, or you can buy foil ones to put inside of them. Just don't wrap foil around them like they used to, because if that foil touches the element, it could spark the element and burn the element out. But that's one thing that landlords will charge you for when you move out, if they're really burnt on black, like can happen. There's the knobs. If you have a drawer in your refrigerator, how about your stove? If you have a drawer there, you need to take that out, because there's lots of crumbs and things drop in there and come down the side of your stove. You'll want to pull it out and clean also. The oven, how often should you clean it? Well, it depends on how much you use it. If you use it a lot, then you're going to clean it more. If it's a self-cleaning oven, it's easy. You turn that on, let it go. It does get very hot. If it isn't a self-cleaning, you need to use Easy Off. Or another thing that helps, take a little dish of ammonia, cup of ammonia, set it on a shelf, set a pan of water underneath, leave it overnight or several hours, and it will help loosen up and help you to clean your oven. And if things burn on, you have to clean it off. You know, sometimes something cooks over and it burns. Well, you can scrape it off and work with it. Also, we used to say you could put a piece of foil down in the bottom of your oven to catch all those drips. Now, they're also saying if that turns up and hits the element, it could burn it out. So you don't want to do that, but you can buy a piece that's made to fit down there to help with that. When you're cleaning your oven with Easy Off or whatever, or even a self-cleaning in your cleaner, put something on the floor in front of it so nothing drips out and ruins the flooring in front, because it could do, and then you'd be paying for flooring. We don't want to do that. So that pretty much takes care of the stove, except if you have a hood or over the top, a range hood, and you turn it on to take the air smell out. Then there are two little vents, little metal vents there that slide out. Those need to be cleaned every so often, either in the dishwasher or hot soapy water, because that's what collects all the grease that you cook with. And always clean the hood, wipe it out also. The next thing I think about in the kitchen is a microwave, because mine's above the stove. You need to wipe it out every time that you use it and something cooks over. Cover food when you put it in there. That will help your cleaning 100%. If something does cook on, put a cup of water in there, bring it to a boil. Some people like to take a sponge or a cloth and wet it and put it in there for a short time. A cloth or so, you could probably do 30 seconds or so. Water, it'll take longer to boil. When that's done, take it out, and then wipe it out. Take the turntable out if you have one and clean it. So that takes care of the microwave. There are other little vents on the front that you want to clean. If it's a tabletop one, then clean off the top and so forth with that. Okay, just make sure in your kitchen that you're wiping down your cupboards, your counters, all those kinds of things. If you have cupboards that have the open area at the top where you put all the pretty things, you need to clean that also, because it gets just like the top of your refrigerator from the dust and the moisture in your kitchen. Ceiling fans, we have one in the kitchen, that's why I always connect those. Clean your ceiling fans, dust them off, because if they come on, the dust bunnies go flying. And that's kind of embarrassing, especially if you have company. So clean ceiling fans, clean light fixtures, depending on what kind you have in the kitchen. Let's see, is there anything else? I think that's the main things that we talk about in cleaning the kitchen, except the garbage. When do we take out the garbage? We used to say when the garbage came, a couple times a week. Now it comes once a week. And depending on what's in your garbage, if you have diapers, raw food, a lot of food, it probably needs to go out every day. If you don't have much food in there, you recycle, you have just some paper, it could go longer. But just take it out often. And when you take it out, take the garbage bag out, clean the wastebasket, trash can, whatever it's in, because it gets dirty inside and out. And all those things can draw bugs if they're around with that. Okay, so I think we've pretty well got the kitchen cleaned. Somebody mentioned in a class not to forget the silverware holders and those, and that's right, in the drawers, there's always those little crumbs that collect. So it's going to be different for different people. Landlords probably aren't going to come in and look in every drawer. They're going to look overall, and they have the right to do that. They can come in and look at your apartment, but they need to give you 24 hours notice. So if you just keep on top of things, you don't have any worries. Think about these kinds of things. Good luck as you go on to renting your apartments. Cleaning. Keep it up all the time you're living there. It'll be much easier when you move out. So good luck.